morning, everyone. Welcome to the Trrc. Before we start our proceedings for this morning, can you have the floor? Thank you.
Bismillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Rabbana innana amanna faghfir lana dhunubana wa qina azaban nar. As-sabirina was-sadiqina wal-qanitina wal-munfiqina wal-mustaghfiruna bil-iskhar. شهد الله أنه لا إله وملائكته وأولو العلم قائما بالقسط لا إله إلا هو العزيز الحكيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
Shukran, Imam Diallo. Council, are we ready with this morning's witness?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, commissioners, and members of the audience. We're ready to start with this morning's witness. Also, kindly bring in the witness. His name is Major Wassa Camara.
Thank you.
I, Major Wassa Camara, do swear that I will speak the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Good morning, Major Camara. Welcome to the TRRC. Thank you very much for agreeing to testify at very short notice. Really grateful that you were able to make it and to arrive on time. Thank you very much. You called upon to testify today about the issues surrounding the April 10th, 11th students' demonstrations of the year 2000. Are you able to talk about those? We do understand that you have also had certain personal experiences with the NIA in 2006. Do you recall that? The Commission intends to hold an institutional hearing on the NIA, and you would be called at that time to come and testify about your experiences in that institution. So, but for the purposes of your testimony today, we just limit it to April 10th, 11th of year 2000. So you have just taken an oath to speak the truth, and you just reminded that it's an offense under the laws of this country to lie under oath. It is also an offense under the laws of this commission to lie before the commission. You understand?
Okay.
So what are your full names?
My name's Major Wassa Camara.
Date of birth?
1st of January 1972.
Where did you go to school?
Methodist Primary School in Janjambre.
Where were you born?
Janjambre.
Good. And when did you attend Methodist Primary?
Methodist Primary School from 1980 to 79 to 86.
And what did you do after that?
Proceeded to Armitage High School in 86 to 91.
What did you do after you finished high school?
Joined the Gambia Zanamori.
When was that?
This was on the 28th of June, 1992.
How long was your training? Duration of your training?
11 months.
Do you recall when you completed your training?
This was on the 28th of, I think it was June 1993. That was the day we passed out from the training school.
And what did you do after passing out?
We stayed for a while before being posted to airport, Zanamori station. This was in 1993.
And for how long were you there?
I was there until 22nd July 1994.
What happened on that day?
That was the actual day when the former regime, the previous regime rather, the PPP regime government was overthrown.
By the former regime?
By the former regime. Yeah, Jammeh.
And what happened to you after July 22nd takeover?
The Zanamori was amalgamated into the police and the Gambia Armed Forces. So I found myself in the Gambia Armed Forces. Then it was the Gambia National Army.
Was that by choice or just by accident?
No, by choice, because we were asked to decide where we will want to go to.
So you opted for the army?
Yes, sir.
And tell us a bit about your career progression in the army.
In the army, we've joined the army in 1994, shortly after the July 22nd coup d'etat. So I was in there performing guards as a private soldier then. I could remember my last post where I have performed as a sentry was at Yankuba's Toure's residence. This was shortly after 11 November event. After that, we went back to the battalion, that is 1 infantry battalion at Yundum. There we were falling, addressed by Marong, and then posted at military police then.
Which Marong are you referring to?
CO, he was the then CO at the unit.
First name? Would it be Lamin Marong?
I can't remember, but I know he was the CO then, Marong.
All right, we'll proceed. And then what happened after that?
So I was at military police up till 1994, 95, 96. I sat to the officers cadet basic training to become officer cadet. So we sat to the exam. After that exam, some of us who have passed that exam were decorated as officer cadet. So 1996, when I was...
You're suggesting that only some of you who passed the exam?
Yes, because it was something which was open to the general public, to the civilians, and then the military personnel, those who are in the services before, to come together, converge at Fajara Barracks, and sit to the officer cadet basic, exams. So when we started our exams, some of us who have passed the exams were decorated as officer cadets.
Were there some who passed but were not so designated as so all those who passed became
yes, all
officer
those who
cadets?
passed. Because I could remember 3 people had the pass mark, but because the criteria was that they want, a figure was selected that should be given the cadet rank. So that figure, those who have passed but have fallen down the margin small out of the pass mark which was given, were given the chance to go to the university then. So 3 among them, I could remember Colonel Sane was part of that, and then Marena, he is currently at USA, is also part of that group. I think Ba also is also part of that group. So the number of people that were selected on that, cadet outcome of the results of that, exam, were those that were decorated as, officer cadets.
Good. What happened after you were designated officer cadet?
Yeah, I still continue with the military police. Some time later, I was sent to Pakistan to do my officer basic military police course. So when I came back, I spent, I think, roughly 1 month there. I was sent to the training school to join with other cadet officers on a job training, on job learning. Then I spent 1 month again at the training school and got posted back to military police again. And prepared myself for my young officers infantry course at Ghana. This was in 1996. So I went to Ghana with my counterparts, Lalo Jaite, Umar Dabo, Yaya Dabo, plus Seremodun Jai. We are 5 in number as young officers, second lieutenants then. So we are in Ghana up to the end, around December 1996, when we finished our infantry conventional warfare school, and then that of the jungler warfare school. We have been posted back. We came back to the Gambia again.
You did jungler training in Ghana. I hope you did not become a jungler in Gambia.
No, it depends on the way people see it.
No, that
Yeah,
was just
it's a different, thing altogether with the way we operate. The junglers here and the jungler training that I did are different.
What's the difference?
We learn how to operate in insurgency operations, and in jungle warfare school, how you are taught to operate in jungle terrain.
And the junglers in Gambia?
The name junglers here rings a bell anyway, because
Are you reluctant to talk about it?
no, I will talk about it, because there will become a time when I will talk about that jungle thing, because
No, you are asked to tell us the difference now.
yeah, the difference is that junglers here, what we know about junglers here is they are tasked to go and, arrest people, kill people, torture people, and that's not the training they are trained for.
Good. So what happened when you returned from Ghana?
Yes, from my young officers infantry training, I was posted to Farafenye, because already before our coming, there was an attack in Farafenye. So when I came back, I was posted to Farafenye in 1996 December.
And you were in Farafenye until when?
Farafenye was the parent unit, the headquarters of 2 infantry battalion, which have under its armpit Kudang military post and Basse military post. So I was like this from Farafenye, I moved to Kudang, Basse, and then back to Farafenye. So I was like that up to 2000 when I was posted back to 1 infantry battalion as the adjutant.
When in 2000 were you posted back to 1 infantry battalion?
2000 November.
So by April 2000, where were you based?
April 2000, I was at Kudang.
Can you tell us, at this stage, what was your rank?
I was a lieutenant.
And do you recall the date or the dates, April 10 and 11 of 2000?
Yes, I can.
Could you tell us what happened on April 10th, 2000?
Yes, April 10, 2000, I was at Kudang military post as the OC, as the officer commanding the post, the military post then. Normally we have our routines. We go for morning rounds at times, go for almost 5-10 kilometers, come back. And then we continue with our other activities like classes. I normally take my soldiers on routine training. Classes is part of it. Theoretical classes is part of it. We go to the bush for bush exercise also. On that day, which was on the 10th of April, I could remember in the morning receiving a call from my CO, also receiving a call from the then Commissioner, Trrc, and then also receiving a call from the then Deputy Army Commander, Baji, Sankare Baji.
Tell us about each of these
them.
calls.
Yes,
not in a group, but
I'm coming to
individually.
that. So this found me conducting classes then at Kudang. I received a call from the CO saying that there was student demonstration happening within the Greater Banjul area. The CO, his name is Captain Babkar Keta.
Proceed, please.
He said there was student demonstration in the Greater Banjul area, and therefore we should be on standby and wait for further directives. Then thereafter, I also received a call from the Commissioner, General Barature. He also said that he heard about the story of demonstration going on in the Greater Banjul area. But according to him, the intelligence that is speaking around his own environment, that is in Janjambure, that the students were also preparing to demonstrate.
And?
That's what he said. So I told him to call the CEO at Farafenye, Babakar Keita, and inform him also. But equally, I will also call to inform the CEO of what is happening within my immediate surrounding. Then, thereafter that, I received also a call from the Deputy Army Commander.
What was his name?
Sankare Baji.
He known by any other name?
Mohamed Baji, he is Mohamed Baji. He told me that there was demonstration at the Greater Banjul area, and we should also be on the watch out, to be on standby. So I also called the CEO to inform him what the commissioner has stated to me. Then we continued the classes. This was in the morning. I was there up till around 12:45 or so, when I received a call again from the CEO and from the Deputy Army Commander. Also, the calls were also coming from the Commissioner. So I informed those soldiers with me at the lecture hall, and then as the runner also to inform the platoon sergeant who was on the ground, to inform the rest of the men that this was what was happening with regards to the information we have collected then. So that everybody will be tentatively put in the picture and then be on standby. So we continue the classes. Then up to around 1 o'clock, we went for boost exercise, because normally we conduct training at the lecture hall. We go to the boost for practicals. So we went, finished that practicals, came back. And when we came, I called everybody to come in and then informed them what had happened, what was happening then. So from there, we fall out. That is, everybody went to his individual places. So thereafter, in the evening, I received a call also that from the commissioner this time, that he got a strong information that the students are preparing to move out tonight, that very night. And then I think he was trying his best to see how best he can stop that move from happening. But he said he has spoken to all of them, to the students, but they don't want to stick to his advice that they should remain in the school and then let them not do any demonstration. So this was transmitted to the CEO, Babkar Keta. So he said to me, Camara, just be on the standby. At any time we get any information with regards to your move, you will be informed accordingly. So I was on that waiting period, and I called the soldiers and told them briefly, this is what is the scenario out there. We are going to meet students or people, but what is the essence, the most essential thing is that these are disgruntled young chaps in the streets. They are not having weapons. They don't have any other thing that can create, let's say, can cost somebody's life. So, but in as much as we are going to the field, our purpose there is just to quell down the situation.
Did you talk to them about weapons, about the students being unarmed?
Yes.
And, do you recall giving a statement?
Yes.
If you see it again, you'd be able to recognize it.
I should think so.
Let me send you this document. After you recognize it, I would want you to read paragraph 4 in page 4.
By 1830 hours.
Could you first confirm that this is your statement? I know that it is unsigned, but you can still confirm whether this is the statement that you gave.
Yeah, my name is written on it. I guess it is mine, I believe.
But from skim through the document and satisfy yourself.
Yeah, it's mine.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
So, yes,
I-
I just want to draw your attention to paragraph 4.
Yes.
Could you read out paragraph 4, please?
Yes, by 18:30 hours, I came from my quarters to have a general briefing with the men pertaining to the subject matter. I categorically made it clear to the soldiers that the students or peoples were disgruntled and wanted to express their grievances by way of demonstrating. And therefore, our duty was to quell down the situation instead of aggravating it. I briefed them on the rules of engagement.
So you see, in your statement, you did not talk about anything pertaining to students carrying or not carrying weapons.
Yes.
So now you're telling us that you told them that the students were not carrying weapons.
Yes.
So you are expanding what is contained in your statement.
Exactly.
Is that an afterthought, or that is the real truth?
No, because all what I've said to them was not in the statement, which is directly in front of you. If I had to explain word by word all what I've said to the soldiers during the briefing period, it may take probably 10, 15 pages. Yes.
Well, you were asked to give a statement regarding the truth of what happened,
Yes.
and not a summarized version of what happened.
Yes, but because the time I was making this statement, I think time factor was what was considered. Because what happened is that when I was briefing the men, I told them that the students were not armed. That was very clear when I was briefing them. I said also that.
But how would you know the students were not armed? You were not where the students were at the time.
Because that was the information we were receiving. We were being told that students were having, stones and stakes. That's the information we received, intelligent info.
Okay, I will not belabor the point. What I do not want is you to be giving evidence in summarized versions, and only to later turn around and say, well, I could have expanded it, but did not. We just want you to speak the whole truth that you know about this particular issue. All right?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
so after you address the students, tell us, the soldiers, tell us what happened.
Yes, I told them that I'll be moving out with them, and then nobody should cock his weapon, should beat any of the students that we will find in the field. And then if anybody among them should shoot, I'll shoot on, to that person. That I've mentioned to them.
Proceed.
So in the evening, we were called upon. I was informed that Janjambure, the students are out in the streets. This was during the night time, and that we should move. So I guess I got some of my personnel. I went with them. I boarded the pickup vehicle. We went up to Janjambure Sangolkunda crossing point. At that point, we found the ferry being, moved to the other bank, to the home bank of Janjambure, and then it was tied to that side. This was just to stop us from crossing to the island. Then I searched around with the help of one man who is, I think, a security within that area. We were able to find a canoe. So we used to canoe to get our people, across the river. I think 7 or 8 to 9 personnel were crossed, including myself. The remaining personnel were asked with the vehicle driver to use the Bansang crossing point so that they can come to Laminkoro ferry crossing point to Janjambre.
How did you carry any weapons on this occasion?
Yes, while we were moving, we were armed with AK-47.
And what did you carry in terms of ammunition?
Live ammunition.
Only live ammunition?
Yes.
You did not, your group did not carry any blanks?
No.
How many rounds did each soldier carry?
Each soldier is having a magazine capacity of 30 rounds.
Only that?
Yes.
Proceed, please.
A magazine capacity of 30 rounds with a force-line ammo. Force-line ammo include 4 magazines. So one of the magazines is attached to the rifle, so meaning that you have 3 other magazines.
You carried 120 rounds?
Exactly.
Good.
So we crossed along the highway going to Janjambre.
Before that, yes. You told the commission that you talked to the soldiers about the rules of engagement.
Exactly.
And what were these rules of engagement?
Like I said before, here is the proportionality of the force which is applied. The force that will be used to repel it has to be proportionate. A soldier cannot, a student or somebody cannot use a stone or a stick and then use a rifle, a gun against that person. No. And then a soldier, they are all given the green cards, and that clearly spelled out their rule of engagements. We advise them, if soldiers are being stoned at with stones or with sticks, they have to protect themselves with the training that they have got in terms of self-defense, but not to use rifles against, against people who use stones against them.
Was that taught in the Gambia National Army?
Yes, yes, it is.
Are you sure about that?
100% so.
Well, other soldiers would come here and testify.
Yes.
Was that taught in the Gambia National
Yes,
Army?
that is taught.
On this particular occasion, were you given written rules of engagement?
No.
Were you given an order of operation?
No.
Do you know whether any order of operation was prepared at that time?
Not to my knowledge.
So if any order of operation was prepared, it was not given to you?
No, it wasn't.
Do you know whether your commanding officer, Captain Keita, carried any order of operation?
Not to my knowledge.
When you spoke to him, did he mention anything about an order of operation?
No.
Did he, in fact, talk to you about rules of engagement? You mean you are under oath, you know?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He did not.
He did not?
Yes.
So, in effect, when you were deployed, what were you told?
What?
When you were being ordered to go, what were you told? What were your orders? Tell us as far as you can remember.
Yes.
What you were told.
I could remember he said we have to move to Janjambre. That's what he told me. He said the commissioner had called him before and then had informed him that the students are going out into the street to demonstrate. And then the information that they receive, normally when they go out, they vandalize, public properties. So we have to go there in time to secure those properties and ensure that those properties are not vandalized. So this was what he said. He said he's going to join me at Janjambre. So I said, okay. He said, let me take the lead. So I left with my men to Janjambre.
So essentially, you were told what the main task was, but you were not given detailed operational orders?
No, no, no.
You are not given any detailed rules of engagement?
No.
So any suggestion that rules of engagement were prepared and disseminated to the forces would be a lie?
For that particular operations?
For that particular operation?
No.
Listen to the
But
question.
yes, I got you right. For that particular operations, it is not. But what happened in the Gambia Armed Forces at the training school?
Let's get your answer clearly. We don't want anything ambiguous.
Yes.
What do you say to the suggestion that for that particular operation, rules of engagement or order of operations was prepared and disseminated to the forces? Would that statement be true?
It is not.
Therefore, it is a lie.
Yes.
And any rules of engagement that later emerge, dated the 11th, would be part of a cover-up to suggest that the army did it properly when, in fact, these necessary documentation were not done.
It wasn't there. For that particular operation, there was no rule of engagement or operational orders given.
Okay. I want to show you a document. Mr. Chair, we've received the report of the Commission of Inquiry. It was exhibited as Exhibit 82. May I ask that it be corrected to Exhibit 83? There's an omission. There was an error in the list of exhibits. It should be Exhibit 83 instead of Exhibit 82. And with your permission, it could be corrected on the record, Mr. Chair, to now Exhibit 83. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I would want to show you a document. It is Exhibit 19 of the report that we are looking at. So our report, for our purposes, is Exhibit 83. But the witness is being referred to what is Exhibit 19 within Exhibit 83. Take a look at it. Would you say these are operational orders? You have seen some signatures there?
It's operational orders. But if I did not receive this.
And you did not conduct your operations pursuant to this document?
No.
And all right, I'll leave it at that for the time being. These are documents that you never saw.
I did not see this before.
They emerged
during the operations, because like operational orders, if it is been issued, at least extraction of orders will be done by the junior officers. Like if it is at a strategic level, commanders has given out their orders. Those orders will be extracted and be issued to junior officers with the men who are taking part in the operations itself.
That never happened on this occasion?
No.
Good. Thank you very much. So, on the basis of the oral instructions of the order of Keita, Captain Keita, you took off that night with your troops each armed with 120 rounds of ammo, an AK-47 rifle, and you headed to Janjambure. How many men did you go with?
I went with section plus strength. That is about, let's say, 15 by personnel.
So you arrived at Janjambure. You crossed 9 people, and the others you sent them to pass through Lamin Koto, correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell us what happened after that.
Sorry, I just want to say something here. You were asking about the green card, rule of engagement.
Yes, go ahead.
For that one, each and every soldier is being taught at the training school during the course of their recruitment before they pass out. So for operational purpose, like you were saying, whether that green card was an issue for operations, that one did not come to light on that operations itself. But rule of engagements as soldiers, we are all being taught at the training school. Yes. Okay. Yeah, what happened? When we crossed the river, alongside the road, we found the fire being set at different locations alongside the road. So when we reached Janjambure, those that were found in the streets were asked to go into their compounds and avoid being out in the streets. Because the purpose was to see how best we can comb everybody, let's say especially students, back to the school. So we used the highway, the metal road to the commissariat's residence area. At the market, we found some students were there. They were about to burn the marketplace also. So we chased them away from the market. We went up to the location of the police station. We found the police station was being burnt, and was being burnt by fire. So we could hear, rounds being exploded. So we passed like that, went up to that open space. The way that comes from the Jackson Street Highway, that comes from our end to the high school area. And then that intersection, the highway that is coming from the riverside, Gamtel, the police, the open space there, that's where we use as our base. So I was there with few, soldiers. I said we should conduct a double patrol here. So I decided to let 8 by personnel to move out. So I remained with the few personnel on the ground. So these 8 by personnel were tasked to cover streets. They will be on double patrols, that they will be running in the streets to ensure that anybody found in the street be asked to go inside their compounds. Simply because we want to secure the public, areas. Already we found the Camtel, area has been vandalized already. So the market was the next target, plus prisons. So we secure those areas and allow double patrols to go in.
Did you have an idea who vandalized the Camtel?
We believe students.
How did you know?
Because they were the guys who were in the streets to demonstrate.
Proceed, please.
Ordinary Janjambure, citizens, locals will not do that.
My friend.
Yeah, I know.
You're from Janjambure.
No.
So you say that?
No. So
weren't any of those students from Janjambure?
Yeah, there are some from Janjambure. You are right.
And so they would be locals from Janjambure.
That's true, but they are all classified under Amtich high school students.
So, and they also participated in the destruction.
Exactly.
So Janjambure people can participate in destruction.
You're right.
Thank you. Proceed, please.
So we conducted the double patrols, and then the students who were found in the streets, they run away. When they run away from soldiers, they go back to the school and spend the night there. Others,
how were you able to control this?
Yes, that's what I now am explaining. We conduct double patrols. And double patrols, what I meant by double patrols is to have 2 by soldiers pairing up, running in the streets, intersecting with one another. So soldiers, civilians will be thinking that we have, quite a number of soldiers inside the island. But not knowing that we have only few people who are trying to cover a wider area at a time. So that's the strategy I use in place to ensure that we'll be able to control the people, the students in the streets, so that we can send them back to the school. I think around 1 o'clock to 2 a.m., my CEO joined me at Janjamure. Babakar Keita, Captain Babakar Keita, joined me at Janjamure. So I explained.
Did he come alone?
No, he came with some soldiers. He came with some soldiers. He came with a truck with some soldiers. So I explained to him all what we were doing before his arrival in the island. That the market was about to be burnt. We case away, students from that general area, the market area. And then the police station was already burned into scenery, which he has observed and seen. And then the commissioner was to be arrested and then kidnapped, sort of. They want to break into the prisons, which we have also stopped. So we conducted, double patrols in the streets to ensure that, no students is found in the streets. Even the locals, we advise them to go to bed or to go inside their compounds and avoid being in the streets. So we discussed among ourselves, myself, the CEO, and some few prison officers, because the police were nowhere to be seen then, simply because they were the targets. So I suggested that we should cut in on Sarge, or cut in the school and bring all the students to the basket pitch area so that we can talk to them. So that operation was conducted. We went and then studied the area, look at all routes which are leading to the school, and then try to rat up all those avenues of approach to the school. That was done. In the dawn, that is the early hours of the morning, we deployed and posted in soldiers with prison officers. We bound or built the school in that way. So at a synchronized time, early in the morning, would be around 5 a.m. in the morning, we all jumped in from the highway, Jackson Street Highway, into the school and combed inwardly like that. So students who were found in there were being combed, moved towards the basket pitch lawn. Those who were escaping, normally we will find soldiers or prison officers being placed at the other end of the school. That will be serving as barriers. So the instructions given to those people were that if students who are trying to run away from this, get them, bring them back to the basketball pitch. And then they were all brought in there. This was, I think that operations lasted to 7 o'clock or 7:30. The CEO addressed them, Captain Babakar Keita, addressed them. I also came and addressed them. I told them that, look, you, the students, would be future leaders of this country. And then also, you'll be manning key positions in this country. If you vandalize these properties, which you claim to be public properties, tomorrow you'll be in position in those domains, and then complaints will be coming to you to fix them. You will have problems. You will find problems. And just to give them relevant, issues which were happening then, was the vandalization of the Gamtel telephone booth. That very morning, people, even those students, found it difficult to communicate out of the island. Some people have to leave Janjambre and go to Bansang in order to make calls to to their people. So that was one practical example given to them.
Were any of the students arrested?
Arrested, like?
apprehended and detained?
Yeah, what happened is that we realized that if the students are going to be left like that, anything could happen. Imagine the police station was being burned to scenery, rounds were being exploded, and then the target was at the market. So leaving the students like that, anything could happen. So the best thing that could happen, best case scenario at that time, was to see how best we can assemble at one point, contain them there for a period, and then quell down the situation. Once there is peace and stability, then they could be released. So what happened is that they were kept inside the school, not at anywhere other than that.
Were any of them taken to Janjambure prison?
From Armitage, no, I don't know.
Did you personally take anybody
No,
to Janjambure prison?
no.
Did any of your men, excuse me, did any of your men take any student to Janjambure prison?
No.
Just hold a second, let me come. How about at the primary school? Did you or your men go to the primary school?
Janjambure primary school?
Yes.
No.
Captain Keita,
Yes.
how many men did he come with?
Well, I can't tell as at now. Because what happened was this. Captain Keita, the former CEO of 2 Infantry Battalion, came with soldiers in the truck. I don't know actually the number of soldiers he came with. That would have been easier if I had my my diary with me, the 2000 diary with me, because all operations which happened during that period was recorded in that book. But I lost that book. Yes, but Keita came with some, I think a platoon or a platoon plus strength.
Did you see any of the students beaten during that period?
No,
Did you see any of the students arrested?
I saw students being cut from the bush, trying to escape, and being brought to the basket pitch.
Did you see anybody arrested? Anybody whose liberty at that point was seized?
Yeah, their liberty to demonstrate, to move around was seized because they were being placed at the basket pitch lawn where...
Okay. From the basketball pitch, were any of them taken to Janjambure prison?
No. Because what happened is that, at that place, the CEO gave, his statement. He advised them. After giving that such statement, I also came and advised. Then from there, we went out from there, had our breakfast. From the breakfast area, I was tasked again by the CEO to proceed to Bansang. So what happened in Janjambure, I may not be, opportune to know about that.
Or are you trying to avoid any knowledge of these beatings, any knowledge of these tortures, any knowledge of these unlawful detentions in Janjambure?
No.
All right, let me read out something for you and ask you to respond. This is a statement we received from one Alaji Seidi Khan, who now lives in the United Kingdom. And I will read out paragraphs from his statement. Then I'll ask you questions. This is what he has to say. On 11th April, in the early hours of the morning, soldiers entered into the campus some hid themselves in the flowers to ambush us. When the camp was quiet, they started to enter our dormitory building, capturing and beating us to the old basketball pitch. Witness is lying.
Could be correct. He could be lying. He could be correct. He could be lying. Reason why I'm saying this, probably where he was at, I wasn't at that area. But those soldiers directly in front of me, I've mentioned, I have put this thing categorically clear to them. Nobody should slap anybody. Nobody should beat anybody. Your duty is to get them, take them to the basket pitch, ball pitch.
Wouldn't it be obvious,
Yes.
Mr. Camara, if some of these students were beaten from their dormitories and brought to the basketball pitch, wouldn't it be obvious to you that they had been beaten?
No, you may not know why. The reasons are like this. Check the length of Amtech High School from Kabukunda to Nyanikunda.
Those things wouldn't mean much to me.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
sorry.
What I'm saying here, a distance of almost 500 to 600 meters, or even more. If you are at one point, you will not be able to see a distance of 300 beyond.
I'm not suggesting
Yes.
that you would have seen.
Okay.
I'm saying that by the time they arrived at the basketball pitch, it may be obvious to you that these people were beaten just by their looks and their comportment.
It could be. That's what I'm saying.
Good.
I say he could be correct.
All
He
right,
could be lying.
let us proceed with
Yes.
this statement. This witness went on to say that upon understanding the presence of the military in the camp, I tried to sneak out, jumping the fence into the girls' hostel and another fence behind the school into town. I managed to escape arrest at that particular time and went to my guardian in town. Her name is da-da-da-da-da. I just redacted that. She was in a worried mood, but happy to see me and checked if I was okay, as well as giving me food and drink. Later, when I decided to go back to campus, I intended to go via the back fence as before. But before I could get close to the fence, I saw soldiers coming towards me from behind the trees. That is probably correct, isn't it?
Yes.
In view of how you were organized. Correct?
Mhm. Correct.
They stopped me and asked where I was from and where I was going, to which I replied that my brother was in the campus. I wanted to go see him, to see if he was okay. I said that I had lost my way, and that's why I was around the rear area. One of the prison officers who was with the soldiers called out my nickname and said, "You are lying. You are amongst the ringleaders." And before I could say or do anything, I received the heaviest slap to my face before they started to badly torture me. So the beating of students was in fact routine during this process.
Yeah, it could be correct. That's what I'm saying. I say it could be correct.
And these are soldiers who were under your authority.
No.
Where did they come from?
I think I've made that preliminary, explanation with regards to the composition of persons.
No,
at that.
Captain Keita
Yes.
came around 2 a.m. That's
Yes.
what you said. I think we're talking about before 2 a.m.
No, you're talking about the early hours of the morning. Look at the statement itself. It's about the early hours of the morning. So this was dawn operations. What he's explaining here is on the 11th. Captain Keita joined us on the 11th, but this was around 2 a.m., between 1, 2 a.m. This operation happened around 5 towards 6 a.m.
But nonetheless,
Yes.
You were there with Captain Keita at this time.
Yes.
Even though he was your superior officer, you were still the commanding officer of the men on the ground.
No, I will not take that.
All right. We would address the issue of command responsibility
That's
later, or who had authority. Let's first accept the facts that students were being arrested and beaten and tortured at that time.
I will not put it in that way. I will say students were being marshaled, were being moved to the basket pitch area.
Call it marshaled, call it corralled,
Okay.
call it gathered. They were being beaten in the process.
Yes, it could be correct.
It is correct.
Okay.
Thank you. And the witness went on to say, I could hear one of the soldiers saying, we are going to kill you here. Some of your fellow students died in the combos. While they were beating me, they noticed some juju on my waist and accused me of putting jujus on them, which made them continue to beat me even harder until I was begging them to stop and allow me to pray 2 rakas. I was, I'm sorry, I had to laugh. I can just imagine the scenery. Terrible as it is, it's funny. And he said, I was shouting the name of God. Allah is great, in case they killed me. One of them immediately stopped beating me and ordered me to sit on, and before asking, I was shouting that and why I wanted to pray 2 rakas. I explained that I genuinely believed I was going to be beaten to death by them and was going to die that day. He told me to get up and escorted me to the old basketball pitch where some of my colleagues were seated. It looks very credible, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's possible.
He handed me over to some of the soldiers for the responsible for the captives there. And I received another fresh beating from those soldiers as though I had not been beaten before. So at the basketball pitch where you were all gathered, students were being beaten there.
You see, probably it will be difficult for you to understand here. I am saying those soldiers or prison officers, in fact, the soldiers that I was moving with, I kept on, advising them that you don't have the authority to beat or slap anybody.
But
that one I have.
Nonetheless.
So if they were beaten, I will accept that they were beaten. According to his statement, that's what he have said.
Mr. Camara, let's just speak the truth. Only the truth.
That's true.
Let's just speak. If you try to insulate yourself from what happened, the truth would come out.
Exactly.
So let's just speak the truth. Your men were beating the students at Abu. That's the truth, isn't it?
No.
Why
am I saying, when you say my men, I understand that to be the soldiers that I moved with from Kudang. You understand? So that's the direction.
All right, let's do it.
Where I'm taking it.
Let's do it this way. Your soldiers were at the basketball pitch, correct?
Exactly.
Correct? Your soldiers were also doing this double patrol you were talking about, correct?
Yes.
And your soldiers were also hidden in the shrubs, waiting for the students, laying ambushes for them, correct?
Soldiers who were all mixed up together, because the soldiers from 2 Infantry Battalion, which is Farafenye, and then the prison officers, together with my soldiers, were used for that operations.
Okay, so yes. They were all acting together in tandem as a unit?
Yes.
So what was done by the soldiers, they were all doing it together. It was not like one segment doing this and another segment doing that. They were all acting together as one unit.
If you take it in that way, operational, yes.
No, you have to answer the question. Were they acting together as one unit or not?
For that operations, they were acting together as a group.
When students are captured by some soldiers, they are brought to the basketball pitch and being guarded by a group of soldiers, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And the two were all acting together. Those who captured and those who guarded were all acting together, correct?
Yes, they were all in the same theater.
And they were all working under your command, and you were subordinate to Captain Keita at the time, correct?
They were not all working under my command. They were working on the operational orders that was given to them.
And who was to implement those operational orders?
It was the men.
No. You were to supervise implementation of those operation orders, correct?
Yes.
Exactly. So
That's
the men were acting.
We both
under
supervise it. It's not me. We were moving like this. I said Captain Keita, myself, we were all part of the operations. We all moved together.
Yes, but Captain Keita would order you and you order the men.
No, not this time.
Regardless of whether that was the case, you still had command authority over those men, didn't you?
Over my men, yes, that's correct. Over my men.
Yes. And your men were acting in tandem with the other men by arresting students and bringing them to the basketball court.
Correct.
And your men also participated in guarding those who were brought there, correct?
Correct.
And it is those men who were there, those who were capturing the students, are the ones who were beating the students, correct?
Yeah, I said that could be possible because that is the statement of the witness that you are reading, that he was being caught, he was being beaten, he was being tortured, he was being moved from where he was caught.
By a group of soldiers that also included your men.
Okay, acknowledge.
So you accept your men were beating and torturing students.
That one, I don't want to come there.
Well, so you would want to accept that it is the other group that was
no, I will not say the other group.
And not your group.
No, I will not say. I don't want to apportion blame to anybody with regards to this. I want to...
Are you embarrassed by the fact that your men were in fact torturing students?
No.
Not embarrassed by it?
No, I am not. I am not embarrassed in a sense that my men were instructed, we were informed, they were ordered not to beat anybody.
Well, you may just be disappointed that your men
if it has happened,
orders.
if it has happened, I am disappointed.
They ignored your orders.
Yes, if it had happened, I'm disappointed.
Mr. Camara, are you just keeping a blind eye to what has happened and just stay in denial?
No.
In fact,
anything that happened in my presence, I will say here. I'm not a type that will come and then say something which
during
different.
this operation, where were you stationed? Where did you stay during this operation? Were you at the basketball court?
No.
Where were you?
I was moving directly behind the men who were, coming the soldiers out from that end. From, I think, Salum Nyalekunda, general area. That was the area.
Did you go to the basketball court?
Yes, I went there.
And how long did you stay there?
I spent almost 10, 15 to 20 minutes.
And you did not see any...
At that point, no.
Any kid showing signs of having been beaten?
No.
And when you were between those kundas walking around, you did not see anybody being beaten?
No.
This is, I wouldn't know about anybody being beaten.
No, if people are beaten, I'll say they were beaten in my presence.
Okay, let us talk about another incident of beating. Mm-hmm. You went back to Birkamaba, didn't you?
Yes.
Was anybody beaten there in your presence?
I saw people being beaten.
Did you do anything to stop it?
Yes.
What did you do?
I told the soldiers to stop beating.
That is not the story we received. The story we received is that these students were made to lie on the road and your men were trampling upon them.
That is a lie.
Well, you now acknowledge that they were beaten.
Yes.
I asked you before
that
whether people were beaten and tortured. I asked you in the room, you said no.
Where? At Brikamba. No, you ask about Janjambure. The operation is like this.
No,
Maybe I did not get you
I
properly.
asked whether students were beaten and tortured by your men.
No, not my men. I told you not my men.
Okay. And you denied that.
Yes.
Mr. Camara, don't make life difficult or complicated unnecessarily.
Yes.
Just speak the truth. Students were tortured, beaten at Janjambure, and you know about that.
I said for Janjambure, I don't know anything about that with regards to their being beaten or tortured. What happened is that when we brought them to the basket pitch, a statement was made by the CEO. I also advised the students with regards to, destruction of the public properties. Thereafter, I was ordered to go to Bansang. So from Bansang, I was in Bansang, like you were taking me to Brikamba, events which happened at Brikamba. But before in Brikamba, I went to Bansang first.
That may all be true. What I am trying to establish here
It's about the torture.
is that the students were arrested, beaten, tortured by soldiers, and their commanders were aware of it.
Yeah, I think this is where we are going to differ. We are going to differ in a sense that operationally, Kudang was nearer to these areas, that is Brikamaba, Bansang, Janjambure. But when you come to the ground, what was happening was then there are people who were dropped at Brikamaba before our occupation of Brikamba in the first place.
We're going to something else different.
Yes.
And we would come to that particular issue. What I want to establish is that in spite of your denials, your men on the ground were arresting and beating students. That is a fact.
That is not, it's not correct.
Students were not beaten.
My men did not arrest any student.
They only arrested and brought them.
Yes.
So it is
Which I've observed.
it is the other soldiers who beat them.
Yes, it could be.
So your guys were the holy GNA soldiers, and the other guys were the bad ones.
No. That is not correct.
Okay.
What happened is
Let
that,
me rephrase it.
what
Let me
happened-
rephrase. Let me
Okay.
rephrase. Your guys were the law-abiding GNA soldiers, but the other guys were the bad ones.
Well, I don't want to put it that way because this is a serious matter, and I think it is important that we talk about issues which are, relevant to the point. What happened? I led few personnel, and then command and control was very easy for me because I'm centrally positioned within them, and I've given instructions that nobody should slap, nobody should beat, nobody should shoot at anyone. This was what I've given. That in an event that somebody,
Go ahead.
that in an event that somebody should use his firearm against a student, you fire that person, you will be fired at. That was short and clear. So
Let's play by your rules. Let's deal with issues that are relevant to the matter we are discussing. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's not talk about use of firearms. You are expanding the topic. We haven't come to that yet. Now we are limiting ourselves to students being arrested and beaten.
Yes.
Correct? You said earlier that you were centrally positioned among your men.
Those that I came with from Kudang.
They went to the different kundas arresting students, correct?
For the operations at Amtich?
Yes.
Yes.
They went to the dormitories and brought out students, correct?
Yes.
They hid in the shrubs and ambushed students who were trying to run away, correct?
Yes.
They went all the way to the boundaries with the prisons and arrested students, correct?
Sorry?
Closer to the prison area and arrested students, correct?
Correct.
They in fact went to the town and arrested students and brought them back.
No.
So your men were limited to inside Armitage.
No, I have stated, I think I've laid that foundation from the very beginning, that when we arrived before the operation at...
Just answer the question. Did your soldiers go to the town and arrested students and brought them into Armitage?
No, I can't remember that.
Okay. But do you realize that in all the other points I have mentioned, students arrested there were beaten and brought to the basketball court?
Yeah, I think you have made that to me. I said, if that had happened, I did not know about that. I'm just hearing from you that soldiers caught students who were on the move to escape from the school campus, and then they were being brought into the basketball pitch and being beaten.
The only difference between your testimony and what I read out here is the issue of the beating.
Yes.
All right? So, and the reason for the difference is because you are denying responsibility for the beating of these people.
No, I think if I have ordered for a beating of any person...
I did not suggest
Yes.
that you ordered the beating.
Yeah, I'm coming, sir. If I have ordered for the beating of any person, I would have, taken up that responsibility of giving that orders. If I have seen also on the ground, I would have also taken that responsibility of seeing that thing happen in my presence. But you are putting this to me, that because soldiers were there, that because, students were claiming that they were beaten, so I have to acknowledge that these students who claim that they were beaten and tortured, have seen that happen, and I have to accept that it had happened.
No, no, no. I want you to accept
Yes.
that your soldiers were beating students.
I said if they had beaten them, it's not to my knowledge. But I would have been disappointed if they had done so, because that was not the instructions.
But what is very unlikely is that you would be in all these places and you would not even see one single student beaten. That is very unlikely.
To you, if I had seen one, I would have stopped it on the spot.
Okay, now
that's me anyway.
Now let's go to this issue of Bir Camara. We have a witness statement here. This person is called Suleiman Mendy.
Okay.
And I will read out from his statement. He said, minutes later, I saw a group of students led by a classmate of ours, Musa Balde, coming towards the police station. I was able to see them through the window, and none of them was armed. As they approached the station, my brother, P.J. Mendy, started firing at them with rubber bullets. At one instance, I wailed and told him in the Manjago language, please don't shoot them, and he replied, it was fake bullets. And I heard the students clearly shouting fake bullets. Then I saw some of them picking stones at the nearby compound opposite the police station. They started pelting stones at the police station. The premises became very noisy, and I could hear gunshots as well. Jerinjai was drunk. He was continuously drinking waste alcohol and was firing his gun. At one point, I noticed Jerry about to fire his machine gun, but Nadinding, the SO, forcibly stopped him. I saw him wrestle Jerinjai until they both fell on the tar road. Lieutenant Wassa Camara, that would be you, the Kudang camp commander, that's definitely you, came to the police station. That's true also. Did you go to the police station?
Yes.
As he was approaching the police station, I heard the soldiers wailing, "Sir, they want to kill us. Sir, they want to kill us." I wondered how they will be killed by unarmed peoples. When he was a Camara saw me, he said to me, "I learned that you are the leader. If you are brave, come out and fight me." True or false? He continued. I ignored him and didn't utter a word. And again, I saw some students forced to lie on the tar road, and the soldiers walked on them with their boots. True?
I did not see that happen.
Okay. What did you see?
Okay. Please allow me to go through your statement. Your witness is saying PJ Mendy. I don't know which PJ Mendy he's referring to.
Paul Mendy?
Paul Mendy. Is it Per Mendy or Paul Mendy?
Per Mendy? Which is correct? He just said PJ Mendy.
PJ Mendy. The PJ Mendy we know as an officer, if that is who he's referring to, was not at 2 Infantry Battalion. He wasn't at Kutang 10, and he wasn't at Basse 2. I think he need to verify his information with regards to the name and actual person he's talking about.
You are mistaken.
Yes.
One of the soldiers who went there, in his statement, said here quite clearly, when we reached the station, myself and the late Paul J. Mendy used our blank rounds and shot. So there was a PJ Mendy.
That's what I'm saying. I said if he's an officer, there's a difference between officer and soldier. So I am saying if that PJ Mendy is an officer, that officer, PJ that I know, wasn't at 2 Infantry Battalion then, and he was not at Kudang.
He never said that the person was an officer.
Okay.
He just said a PJ Mendy was there.
Okay.
And that is confirmed by another witness.
Okay. So first, the Grey that he's talking, whom I know to be Green Jai, Jai was part of 2 Infantry Battalion. He came from Farfenye with 4 other personnels. Their group were 5 who were dropped in there at night by the CO when he was coming to join me at Janjambre. So operational wise, what had happened in that morning at Brikamaba, I did not know anything about that. I was at Bansang when the information or events which were happening at that time in Brikamaba, I was informed at this place, Bansang, by first class CID, Dabo.
Mr. Chair, it's 11:30. Perhaps we just take a short break and continue with the witness after the short break.
Very much. And thank you very much.
Camara.
Major Wassa Cisse. We are going to Dr. Mark Cleo this morning. Cisse, Tami Services.
Okay.
We will come back and take a 30-minute break.